Legion, episode 2. Okay, so at the end of the first episode, David was essentially taken away from the mental institution by a bunch of superpowered mutants, and this episode just leads off from there. What we discover is that these guys are the good guys, and they are there to help him focus and be able to control his power. Obviously, in order to do that, David has to step out of this schizophrenic state of mind that's been drilled into him since he was a child, and that's essentially what this episode's all about. The goody mutants, or whatever you want to call them, have basically explained to David that a company called Division 3 want to take him in, and they want to experiment on him to control him and unleash his powers. And the interesting thing is like in most cases with these goodies and baddies and the mutants and so on, it's all about rehabilitating or helping someone control their powers for one reason or another. And in this case, it is basically the same. From the first episode, he was in an institution, and now he's going into another institution. Only this time, they're saying it's for the greater good, and there'll be no drugs involved. Now, from David's point of view, this is an extremely painful experience, because what he's having to do is go back to some repressed memories in order to discover why he's got no control over his powers and what's causing him to have these outbursts. What we do see is, especially from the first episode as well, is that within his mind there's this grotesque demon creature that seems to crop up and cause him inner torment. Now, the way I saw about this is that this demon creature maybe is a representation of something bad that's happened to him. Or alternatively, this demon creature is like a beast inside his mind, inside his soul, which he is essentially afraid of unleashing. And maybe that is the key to David's power, is actually defeating this beast and realising that this beast is just a part of him and he has ultimate control over him. Maybe this beast is a representation of his ultimate power. Now, in this episode, we actually do see a representation of how powerful he is. There's a moment where he's inside an MRI machine and he's getting so frustrated with himself that he actually beam transports this MRI machine just completely away into a completely different place because he's so fed up with it. And that's not telepathy, that's not telekinesis. I mean, we're talking about bending space and time here, teleportation. And that's why it was very subtly done. And I really enjoyed that part. And I was like, what kind of power have you actually got here? Again, that touches on the powers that we see from him in the comics, is that he does have the ability to bend space and time. And I'm like, well, I can't imagine what he's going to be like when he has complete control over his powers. It's going to be awesome. Now, we also see his relationship with the female character. I can't remember her name now, considering I only watched it 5 minutes ago. But we see the relationship growing there, and is he going to use her as some kind of crutch, just like he seems to have regarding his sister? Is that it's his sister's voice that guides him to sanity, and are we going to see that in her as well? Is she going to become, a focal point for his sanity, a focal point for his power? Maybe she wants to be the focal point to his power, because she's constantly there saying, don't lose hope. Everyone here is, we're here to help you. We're here to kind of show you how powerful you can be and what kind of control you can have over your own sanity. And maybe he doesn't recognise that. And I don't know, that you can see that relationship going somewhere. You can see how he perceives her. Is she just an extremely attractive woman that he connects to? Does she care about him more than he cares about her? I mean, in order for him to truly explore his psychology, is she going to be someone who gets in the way? Because he's got a lot of demons to deal with. He really, really has. And that's really what this episode kind of explores. This episode explores repressed memories, how he deals with them, and how they've had a major effect on who he is today. And more importantly, are they going to hold him back in order for him to evolve into someone who has complete control of themselves. Now, I've watched this episode twice. The first time I watched it, I was under the influence of alcohol, hence the reason why I've had to watch it again in order to create a cohesive opinion on the episode. The first time I watched it, I didn't enjoy it. Maybe that was down to the booze. But the second time, it really gave me an opportunity to really dig into this episode and understand where they're going with it. And at the end of the day, this is about digging into David's mind and how many episodes is there? What, 8 episodes, I think, altogether. So you can see towards the end of this first season that he's going to have a grasp of his power, and we're going to get to see that, and I can't wait. Now, regarding the plot line, we know that his sister has been kidnapped by this Division 3, this covert operations baddie team, and we know that he's going to have to go there and save her. And that's going to be interesting to see how that goes along, especially when it comes to the relationship between her and him. And obviously, she's always remembers her brother as being, chaotic and uncontrollable. And it would be nice to see how she sees him now and the fact that he's in complete control of himself. Or should I say, by the time he gets there, he's going to be in complete control of himself. But all in all, I really enjoyed this episode. It was a good psychological, in-depth analysis of David. Again, it was kind of edited and put together in this, psychiatric way of, these transitions between now and a repressed memory and how he dealt with it and how he's going to deal with it, if he dealt with it at all. And I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to next week. I really, really am. Let me know what you thought of it, really. It'd be interesting because, like I say, I'm not a massive kind of follower of this character. I knew of Xavier's son. I knew of the New Mutants and where he came into it, and the fact that he was quite a deformed character, and the fact that he was really, really powerful. He never really had a grasp of how powerful he was. But that's about it. If you're a comic book fan and you've read these comics, please just comment. Let me know where you think this character could be going and how you feel David has been put on screen, because I'm really interested to find out what your opinion is. Anyway, guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. Always a pleasure, never a chore. Click subscribe if you want to see more. Peace out, and we'll see you next time.